Thank you everybody for joining us today for the Capital Markets Day. We're very excited about so many people have chosen to use the next couple of hours together with us. As Lars just said, so we are a couple of people from the management team that are going to talk to various topics here. And then I'm also very delighted that we have today with us here Stefano Sammiato from Intel talking about their perspective of FPGA technology for the future, and also Jim Dworkin from Xilinx talking about their vision of FPGA for future in various areas of networking, cloud computing, and so forth. As Lars said, we are running here from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. There'll be coffee breaks in between. And also, please, even though we may not stop and pause, don't hesitate to interrupt and ask questions as we go along. Of course, we'll have a Q&A session after the entire session. Everybody will be available for a couple of hours after the CMD, so if you want to have one-on-ones, just let us know about that. So I'll start to talk about addressing Napatech growth and drivers for accelerating our growth. As we all know, we would like to actually see a future of more growth we've seen in the past, and we think that we've done a number of things over especially the last year that actually help us to regain that moving ahead. So first of all, very important, and we're going to talk a lot more about that today, is broadening our focus to new markets and new segments that actually would allow us to grow beyond what we today call our core market, so the packet capture market, where we've been in for a very long period of time. We'll today see where we anticipate to do that, how we want to do it, and also where we are in terms of already things that already have happened throughout 2017. We'll also continue to deliver high-speed connectivity. By that, I'm referring to 100 gigabit and so forth, where we over the past period have seen less traction that we may have wanted to. We strongly believe in the future there will be a need for higher speeds, but we also will have a close focus on addressing those speeds by the use of the applications rather than just driving it by technology. As we have talked about a couple of times during quarterly presentations, we are going to improve our Pandion solution by delivering a software-only solution for that part of our business during 2018. And we strongly believe that will be a change in both business models, but also adoption in the industry, as we would actually deaggregate hardware and software within that product, part of the product portfolio. And last but not least, very importantly, we made early investments around virtualization and referred to that as network functional virtualization, NFV, a year back, a little more than a year back, and we are going to talk a lot more about where we are with that today. And that investment had shown to be a very, very good investment in terms of the things we've been able to do throughout 2017, especially late 17 and also into 18, in terms of proof of concepts and also market tractions with some leading tier 1 companies. So basically the very simple basis for where we want to go and how we want to accelerate and regain growth and traction in the market again. Also, I want to share just initially here some market numbers. Until recently, there was really not a lot of people interested in talking about market numbers for offload and programmable NICs, but actually lately market analysis have actually been released around especially these kind of products, these type of products that are the core and form the basis for, say, the overall opportunities that Napatech can look into. So where the total NIC card market is projected to be around $2 billion, it's also projected that offload and programmable NICs, as would actually be targeted by Napatech, are around $1.7 billion. It's very interesting for the first time to start having numbers from outsourced or third-party analysts talking about these kind of technologies and what kind of market sizes are actually available. On top of that, we also strongly believe that there are software opportunities to even further go to accelerating different kind of applications. And I know that two gentlemen from respectively Intel and Xilinx are going to talk even more about that during today. Jared is going to talk more about the market opportunities also around the additional software for programmable NICs and further offload and compute offload during today. I'd like to use a couple of minutes here to talk about our strategy and why we think this is a great foundation for Napatech moving forward. So the strategy is basically founded on 4 different pillars. We call it Dominate, Establish, Expand and Explore. And the Dominate pillar is essentially around making sure we maintain and grow our core business, so the packet capture, the things we've been doing for a long time, where we expect growth still to be available, although modest. The expand is basically moving our technology, our competences into an area of inline, basically usually referred to as cybersecurity areas, and basically utilizing a lot of the things we are famous for doing today within those types of markets. The established part is going in with a beachhead in virtualization in everything that is happening currently around moving things from the physical world into the software world in not only the cloud, but very much dominated by anything that have to do with the cloud. And then lastly, but also very importantly, exploring things around making compute offload available in cloud services and in data centers. All these 3 things are envisioned as driving growth for Napatech moving ahead while maintaining and dominating our core business. And as the last part of the presentation today, I'll actually start putting some numbers around that in terms of expectations for Napatech moving ahead. And as a strategy, also with that come, of course, the ambition of growth and also gaining traction in markets. And we see the opportunities especially interesting here as that we of today are coming from markets where there are some growth, but not the growth that will actually take us to where our ambitions are. The expanding into the cybersecurity area, we believe, actually moves us from or to a higher volume market that's very close to where we are today. Similar customers, similar types of applications that we are looking at today, where the established is basically coming from a lower volume, lower growth point high growth point of view right now, but a lower volume. Really creating a beachhead in virtualization solutions. And finally exploring new applications and acceleration opportunities for cloud applications that currently are low volumes but expected to be very high growth rates moving ahead. This is what we're going to dive into more details and talk about what are the types of applications, what are the type of customers, and where are Napatech actually today. So where do we already have some tractions, where do we have some proof of concepts, which we have been working on throughout 2017 and into 2018. Any questions so far? Okay. So as the last slide here in the introduction, I'd actually like to point the attention to that when we say that we have done things and referred to that throughout 2017, we've sometimes gotten the question, so but that's just started right now, or are you going to start it? And actually we've done a lot of things that's been set in motion as of 2017. And some of the things we've been listing here is really important to back the strategy, to start executing on the strategy. And some of the points we have actually successfully executed on by now. So we've put a new organization in place, especially around sales and marketing, and you're going to see more of both Jared, our Chief Marketing Officer, and also Ken Way, our Chief Sales Officer. I know you saw Jared last year, and some of you have been meeting with Ken in California, but the rest have not. Then very importantly, we've also done a lot around our strategic partnerships with Intel and Xilinx. That's why we're very proud about they have chosen to come here today and speak more about how they see the world around FPGA technology. And then finally, but very important, some of the things actually that rolled out throughout 2017 have now come into fruition in terms of proof of concept running with tier 1 companies. The latest one we actually announced was a very successful demonstration on Mobile World Congress, where we demonstrated RAN technology for accelerating the edge of the RAN network and protocol stacks around that. And this basically shows that the strategy that we formed and agreed with the board of directors through 2017 actually already have some very great traction in terms of implementation of very important parts of reaching our strategic ambitions. So with that being said, any questions to the first part of the introduction here? Otherwise, I would actually ask Danjo to come on stage and take us through some educational topics.